Hello, my name is Francis Potier, and I am the Executive Director at the Canadian Association of Second Language Teachers, also known as CASALT. In March of 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic shut down much of Canada's schools. For many teachers, this meant a huge disruption to their regular programming. Teachers had to adapt quickly to a never-changing list of restrictions. For language teachers, this posed many unique challenges. Some language teachers faced cuts to their programming, while others struggled to engage with students online. Still others faced the challenge of getting their students to speak behind masks and protective barriers. All the while, they struggled with their own stress and anxiety surrounding the pandemic. After hearing of these challenges, the CASALT Board of Directors wanted to explore the pandemic's impact on language teachers, while also identifying successes and innovations that teachers were developing to survive and even thrive in these conditions. Therefore, CASALT commissioned a study to explore the enduring innovations resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. We contracted Dr. Roswitha Dressler and Dr. Rochelle Guida of the University of Calgary to undertake the study. Roswitha, please tell us a bit about the study and the methodologies used.
Thanks, Francis. This study took a mixed methods approach. CASALT sent out an email to its membership with a link to a survey. Within the survey were several different types of questions, taking a look at teachers' experiences during COVID at 3 different time periods. We provided numerous opportunities for teachers to expand their answers with written comments. In all, we received 275 valid survey responses.
And what about the respondents? Can you give us some details about them?
The majority of the respondents taught in Ontario and in Alberta. All other Canadian provinces and territories were also represented in our survey findings, except for Nunavut. Overwhelmingly, most participants taught French as a second language. Other languages less in popularity included English, German, Mandarin, Indigenous languages, Italian, and Spanish. Elementary school was the most popular teaching panel of the respondents, which we classified as kindergarten to grade 6. A close second were from teachers of middle schools. The educators came from a range of teaching experiences, with the majority having 0 to 20 years of practice. However, the ranges in 5-year increments were relatively evenly distributed. At the onset of the global COVID-19 pandemic, which was from March to June 2020, most of the teachers immediately transitioned to emergency remote learning. Other educators went back and forth with exclusively remote teaching after a period of halted instruction in the physical classroom, and then briefly returned to face-to-face teaching. Some participants lost employment or were reassigned away from the second language classroom. And few teachers continued with face-to-face instruction in the physical classroom, with many of these educators from alternative learning settings, such as in adult learning. During the 2020-2021 school year, most teachers of our survey returned to the classroom with COVID-19 safety measures, such as masking and social distancing. Some respondents exclusively taught online, or taught online in response to class outbreaks or ever-changing provincial or territorial mandates. The following year of 2021-2022, the majority of our educators continued teaching face-to-face with COVID-19 safety protocols. Fewer teachers were maintaining online learning than in the previous year. Other educators taught through a hybrid approach by teaching in the physical classroom to present students, as well as concurrently facilitating synchronous communication with virtual students using video conferencing technologies.
The study explored a variety of pandemic-related challenges encountered by language teachers in Canada between March 2020 and November 2021. What were some of the challenges that stood out to you?
As you can imagine, teachers were caught off guard by the sudden pivot from in-person teaching to emergency remote teaching. Many were caught without their resources, including their textbooks and materials, some of which they could use anyway in the online format. Additionally, students and parents were required to use technology and have internet, which wasn't a given. Most of us knew about these challenges or had heard about them, but in our study, we were able to learn more about second language teachers in particular. They dealt with working from home challenges, the same ones that others did, and some unique ones: access to resources, internet, childcare. Additionally, sometimes their subjects were deemed less important, not core or essential. Some second language teachers had limited access to their students, their teaching was canceled, or they were redirected to teaching other subjects.
It was particularly surprising for me to learn that even tech-savvy teachers prior to the pandemic struggled to implement their online learning during the pandemic for various reasons. For example, student disengagement, lack of planning time, and lack of adequate working spaces for both students and those tech-savvy teachers. And this finding helped me realize that teachers should not be expected to learn through their own initiatives, but also receive a more holistic professional development from their employer and fellow colleagues. I already predicted that teachers, students, and the communities would experience mental health struggles throughout the pandemic. However, it saddened me to discover realities from some participants, including the mention of family abuse for students, ongoing anxiety about catching the virus, and severe social isolation for teachers and students. It also shocked me that parents of elementary and secondary school children were already concerned about post-secondary second language opportunities due to the lack of learning during the pandemic.
Lastly, we wanted to explore what innovation teachers developed during these challenging times. Can you tell us what you found?
Teachers as a group are very resilient. Second language teachers reported forming online professional learning communities or seeking out target language materials online. They created supporting classrooms or material using tools such as Google Classroom, and they made the best of video conferencing by using breakout rooms and other innovations. It was heartwarming to read about the parental and collegial appreciation for the work of these teachers.
Well, thank you, Roswitha and Rochelle, for your diligent work on this project. It was important to give a voice to language teachers to share their challenges and discuss solutions. You can learn more about this study and read the full report now. The digital version is available free for download, and print copies are available for a small fee from the CASALT boutique. The authors also published 3 articles on the CASALT blog and 1 article in Réflexion, our professional magazine, exploring different aspects of the study in depth. What are your takeaways from this study? Tell us in the comments below, or reach out directly to us at projects@casalt.org.